How we doing, everybody? It is Tuesday, February the 15th, 2022. My birthday today. Happy birthday to me. 40-something years old. We'll just leave it at that. Um, anyway, yeah, that's good. I embrace my age. I'm actually a year older than my dad was when he became a grandfather, and I can, still get up and do everything every day. I got all my abilities and everything. I woke up above the soil today, which is a good thing. So I embrace my age and embrace embrace any day that's a good day. So anyway, let's get into the video. Um, this is a little bit of an interesting video for some of you. Some of you might just get bored and say, "Yeah, to hell with it. We'll come back and watch the next one." But actually, I'm going to be taking a break. I decided to take a break and unsub from a couple of my favorite YouTube channels that I like to watch. That being Canadian Stud Muffin and Uncle Tony's Garage. And the reason for that is as follows. Let's start with Uncle Tony. I like his channel. I like the old Mopars from the 70s and most of the content that he provides. What I'm getting tired of is a lot of these automotive channels that I watch, they're doing these like 2 and 3 hour things on Sunday night where they sit in a chair in front of a camera and just like do these like live chat things. And I'm sorry, that's boring. I want to watch you produce content. And if your channel is car based, automotive based, truck based, I want to see you working on something. I don't want to have you sitting in front of a camera talking for 3 hours. That gets boring. I mean, unfortunately that happened with TLC Bear too. I love his channel, but I'm sorry, I can't listen to a person get in front of the camera and talk about their diabetes for 2 hours. Just have no interest in that. I mean, I've got my struggles too. I've dealt with chronic sinusitis since September. I'm just now starting to be able to smell again. And it cost me almost $1,000 to find out that I didn't have COVID. But in fact, I had chronic sinusitis, and that's what was causing it. I've been smell training. That closet back there behind me is where all my essential oils are. But that's my struggles. But I'm not going to sit here in front of a camera and talk to you about it for 2 and 3 hours. That gets kind of boring. But anyway, that's part of what's going on. So anyhow, the reason for unsubscribing from Uncle Tony's channel is on his live chat the other night. Right away he starts with I support the truck drivers in Canada and this, that, and the other. And I'm sorry, but I made the decision a while ago not to bring politics to YouTube. And I'm sorry, but this whole truck drivers protesting, taking a little jab in the arm, is political. And it's a bunch of, quite frankly, in my opinion, a bunch of nonsense. If we want to talk politics here for a little bit, and then I'm going to get off the topic because I don't like talking about politics. It's not what YouTube is for, in my opinion. You can go watch them stupid round curvy couch shows or whatever on those stupid news channels on the television if you want to hear that crap, but that's not of interest to me. But if we want to talk political views, I've been a Democrat. I've been a Republican. I am an independent now. I opened my eyes and got my head out of my ass. And I think for myself now. I don't agree with a bunch of people just because it's a popular opinion. That's unnecessary. All right? Now, my thought process is this. All right? Now, I don't know how Canada's constitution works or how things work up there, but I know here in the United States of America, we have a constitution and we have freedom of speech, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, here's the flaw in that document. Okay? And you could get into the whole Joe Rogan and Neil Young thing too if you want, but we're going to we'll shy away from that in this video. Is that, if we decide to talk about that, we'll talk about it in another video. But the whole problem with that is, yeah, you have freedom of speech. You don't have the freedom to come in my house and spread your germs and make me sick. You don't have the freedom to come to my job and make me sick. Okay? So I don't want to hear that you don't want to get a vaccine for whatever stupid reasons you have not to get a vaccine that's been approved by the FDA for use. Not just emergency use, but it's now fully approved. Okay? And never mind all the stupid nonsense I've heard about those vaccines. And, oh, it's going to do this, it's going to change that. No. Stop spreading misinformation. All right? Roll up your stupid sleeve and go take the jab. If there's any chance that by getting that vaccine you might help, by getting that vaccine, waiting the 14 days for the antibodies to start being produced because you are not fully vaccinated until 14 days after you get the last vaccine that brings you up to date. Okay? It takes that time for the antibodies to start being produced. You can't just go get one of those shots and say, okay, I'm going to an 80,000 seat stadium to see a concert and not expect to get sick. Okay? That's the mistake a lot of people are making. Okay? And my thought is this. If there's any chance by getting that vaccine and waiting out the 14 days that you make things a little better for you, you reduce your chances of getting sick with this virus, this stupid virus. You also reduce your chances of getting anybody else sick. You know, if others get it and follow the proper protocol, and we all do this at the same time, maybe we could do a little bit more effective job of combating this stupid thing so that nobody gets sick. Yeah. But anyhow, back to the truck drivers. I work in logistics, okay? And he made some kind of comment about truck drivers are the backbone of this world, blah, 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 blah. I know all their job is very important. You know what? Let me ask you a question. Without people like me, because I work in logistics. I'm on the warehouse side of it, okay? I'm not in the rig. I'm on the warehouse side. Without people like me to load those trailers, what the hell are those truck drivers hauling? If you said nothing, ding, 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 you just hit the nail on the head. So don't go trying to make it sound like one person's job is more important than another. Just like all the medical workers I'm hearing that are starting to cry because, oh, well, we're going to lose our jobs if we don't get a shot. And we were called heroes last year. Well, you know what? You weren't a hero to me. I know people that have gone 35 years without stepping a foot into a doctor's office, and you know what? They're not getting sick. They went up to the drugstore and got their frickin' shot when they had to get their shot, and they're fine. Otherwise, haven't been in a doctor's office in 35 years, and they're perfectly fine. All right? And they've probably saved a lot of money, too. But anyway, that's that. So I've decided to take a little bit of a break because he decided to get political and got totally away from his, the main scope of his channel, which is automotive content. So we're going to take a little break from his channel for a while. I may resub again in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, who knows? But I don't want to hear all that political shit. So, and I'm a viewer, so my opinion counts. If I don't like what he's producing, I don't go there, and he doesn't get views. I'm not a subscriber, and he doesn't get views. He's got to have somebody to replace me. Anyway. Now on to Canadian Stud Muffin. Nice guy, having a bad word to say about him. But, yeah, the other night I was watching a video where he was talking about his 25, he had two other guys, three people on the screen, and they were doing like their 20, each of them were doing their 25 favorite albums. Each guy would do like 4 or 5 or whatever at a time. Favorite albums A to Z. And honest to God, guys, like if you listen to FM radio and you think about the recycled, shuffled, overplayed playlist that the classic rock stations on FM radio play, the artists, the over-shuffled playlist of artists that the classic rock stations on the FM band play around this country, both here and in Canada, I would imagine. You think about those overplayed artists, I guarantee you probably every damn one of them was mentioned in that video. And of course, they're probably their number one favorite one was either David Bowie, the Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, or the Beatles. Because no other bands exist. Just bands from England. But anyhow, I digress. But I started thinking, Larry's a great guy and I like his channel, but he did a video a few years back where he talked about the overplayed songs on the radio. And it's like now, like, Larry, you might want to refer back to that video and listen, think about some of the artists you've mentioned. Yes, you mentioned great artists, but we hear about those artists all the time. All right? You want to know when your videos get interesting? When you actually start talking about artists like Sparks. Or you get into like the Guess Who. Now they did mention the Guess Who in that video, I believe, or Creedence or whatever. But I think they did mention the Guess Who. So one of them mentioned the Guess Who in that video. But we want to hear about, you're from Canada. We would like to hear more about more of the Canadian bands. Why don't you talk about Kim Mitchell once in a while? Or the Partland Brothers or Honeymoon Suite or some of those guys. It's like Pink Floyd, The Who. I hear about this stuff and I hear it overplayed on the radio every day. Led Zeppelin, David Bowie, Black Sabbath, The Who, Lou Reed, Blue Oyster Cult. Hey guys, does this sound like your typical FM classic rock station that they play the same crap from those artists every day? They're making you tired of songs that you once loved. And, after a while, that content tends to get a little bit stale. So I'm taking a break from those two channels for a little bit, just because. And then there's another guy. I look at that Sea of Tranquility channel. I haven't unsubbed from him yet, but he's doing a series right now where he's talking about albums that are 40 years old, and he's doing it through the month of February. And he's going through 1982, so he's done Asia's album, he's done Toto 4, and he's done some of his other, some of his bands that did progressive rock or whatever, because that guy is like, lives for progressive rock. And I saw his video for today, and I happened to put a post on there. I said, did anybody mention John Cougar's American Fool album yet? That came out in 82, and it was a great album. Phenomenal album. I remember as a little kid, because I'm in my 40s, so I was very little when that came out. But I remember going over to my Uncle Ray's house. He had it. Nice big stereo with the big tower speakers and stuff. And I put, he handed it to me. I said, put this on the record player. So, okay. Pop up the lid on the big glass cabinet. And I put side 2 on, which starts out with Thundering Hearts, which is a really great that's a good rocker. So I actually heard Thundering Hearts off that album before I heard Hurt So Good and Jack and Diane and, the other stuff. But what a great American album, Did it rock as hard as, the stuff that Ozzy was doing at the time or Judas Priest or whatever? No. But it was just a good old-fashioned, great American rock album. So why somebody would get on there and do this, respond with a smart aleck comment? It wasn't him. It wasn't Pete Pardo. It was, it was one of his subscribers who'd come on there and say, oh, well, if you watch the channel regular, you would know that album's probably not going to make it on the list. No, I don't know that. Because Pete talks about Toto. Toto's not Judas Priest. They're not a hard rocking band. They have some good rockers, but they're no Judas Priest. They're no Black Sabbath. If you can talk about Toto, then you can talk about John Mellencamp and the John Cougar American Fool album that he put out in 82. If you're going to talk about Prince, if you're going to talk about Michael Jackson, And actually, the little the little cover shot for that video actually has a picture of Michael Jackson's Thriller album, since that was released. I think what the hell did that come out? October or November of '82, the Thriller album come out. But you know, if you're going to talk about them, you got to give John Mellencamp a little bit of notice, even though he was going by Johnny Cougar back in those days. Ooh, this coffee's good, man. French vanilla, man. I put some French vanilla in there this morning. This coffee's great. But anyhow, I'm enjoying that. But anyhow, that's where we're at right now. Again, I'm not here to trash anybody. It's not the subject of this video. I'm just, I'm taking a little break from certain channels that I look at because the content's getting a little stale, and I don't come here to talk politics. I figure you guys have your own views. It's, neither here nor there. We don't need to talk about them. I've got my views on things, but I can keep my stuff to myself. But anyhow, I wish you all the best. And I'm going to get back to enjoying the rest of my birthday because I do have to go back to work tomorrow. I booked a vacation day for today, but I do have to go back to work tomorrow. So y'all have a goody-goody, and we'll see you on the next video. You take care.